Now here's another myth. Are X-rays safe? We'll find out. X-ray safety, myth or true? That's a complicated topic, but we're going to try to simplify here as much as possible so that we can cover this in a few minutes of this video. Let's start with X-rays themselves, right? If you go to the hospital because you broke your arm or you need a procedure done, like you have an appendix rupture, like our friend here, you get an X-ray or a computer tomography or some imaging of your body. You are going to be subject to radiation that's above what you usually get from background. And that's well understood. The benefits of getting that excess of radiation by far exceed the dangers of that excess radiation. I hope that makes sense, right? So the benefit of imaging of your body to help you for a medical procedure by far exceed whatever risks that extra level radiation is going to cause. The level of radiation from an X-ray in a hospital, even a CT, are not connected. There's no study, there's nothing done that connects medical imaging to cancer or any other types of problems that you might have in the future. And just because the type of radiation and the amount of radiation is very, very small. And over time, human beings are subjected to a huge amount of radiation from background radiation, from airports because you're flying. Even cat litter is radioactive. Decomposing bananas are radioactive. So radiation is something we live with on a daily basis. Again, medical imaging is definitely a situation where the benefits by far surpass any of the risks. Then there's a whole different type of questions when people ask about radiation safety, which relate to working with machines that emit radiation, like the ones we make here at Creative Electron. Those machines are built with a lot of safety precautions in place. Radiation is designed and stays inside a leaded cabinet, right? So those are the big boxes that you see. They're really, really heavy, right? Hundreds and thousands of pounds because there's lead on those cabinets. And we built them with steel, lead, and steel. So lead is not available. You can touch or see the lead on the cabinet. The important thing when you're working with an industrial instrument like the ones we make is that the X-rays are not going to be available to hit you. Right. So there's a door, there's a shutter, there's an element that opens the chamber to the rest of the environment. And that process of opening the chamber, for example, a door, right? As soon as you open that door, there are interlocks. They're going to cut any power to the X-ray source. So as soon as you open the door, there's no radiation being produced. And the X-rays is low energy X-rays and X-ray photons in general do not activate materials. You need particles for that. Photons don't have enough energy to kick atoms or electrons out of atoms to make them radioactive. So you can spend a whole day X-raying a board, and after that, that board, that PCB, is not going to become radioactive. It's just physically impossible to do so. If you apply protons or electron beams to that board, yes, they will become hot, they'll be radioactive. But that's not something you're going to find in an X-ray machine. You need to go to a particle accelerator to be able to achieve activation of a sample. So working on an X-ray machine is safe as long as you keep your machine maintained properly, the shielding is done properly, and the interlocks and everything works properly. So the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, details exactly how that has to be done. If you want to do some research, look at CFR 1020.40 subchapter J, and that is where the FDA regulates of how much exposure and how much leakage, if you will, can the outside of an X-ray cabinet be at above background. So take a look. They are safe, and you can work on them 8 hours a day safely with no issues. And again, it's a very complicated topic. We work very hard to make sure that, and by we mean the X-ray industry, industrial X-ray, we work very hard to make sure that machines are perfectly safe to use, and be aware of buying used machines. That's the only thing. I don't want to scare you off buying used machines from eBay, Craigslist, whatever it may be. We did have a situation a few years ago where one of our customers bought not our machine, somebody else's machine on eBay, and as a favor, we came to do an inspection of their system. It so happens that the lead glass that costs about $2,000 had been replaced by whoever else before, on eBay showed up by just a piece of plexiglass from Home Depot. And that machine was leaking a lot of radiation. So make sure you know what you're doing. And when you buy a used machine, buy from a reputable vendor. So I hope this was useful. Again, a lot of information. If you have any other questions, let us know. Leave your comments. And again, give us a call and suggest, myths for us to debunk. Thanks for watching.